guys, Sean here with SEBFishing, and today we're going over one of my favorite year-round baits to use as far as hard baits go, the 1.5 KVD square bill by Strike King. Over the years, I can't tell you how many different colors that I've acquired of this lure. I'd like to say I have about 20, 25 1.5s and 2.5s in my tackle box of all different colors, rattle and no rattle. They're extremely durable and run true straight out of the package every time. So today, I came up with my 3 favorite scenarios to be throwing this particular lure here on the Florida lakes I fish, and also southern lakes in general with a lot of grass, rocky areas, and cover. So with that being said, today we're going to look through my favorite scenarios to throw this lure in the winter, the summer, and the fall. In the winter time, I like to throw this lure around 2 to 4 feet of water around docks and grass flats. I basically toss this lure up to the docks or up to the shallowest point of the grass I can get to without getting this bait stuck, and just reel it back. Bass will get around this grass, and as well as lily pads and hydrilla to warm up, you want to throw far enough in to be able to run your lure past the grass, hydrilla, or cover, but not too far into where you get your crankbait stuck. This lure dives 3 to 5 feet, so working that 2 to 4 foot water up in that 2 to 3 foot range, you may want to keep your rod tip up to keep this lure out of the grass. And because the water's cooler, the bass may or may not be more lethargic, and therefore I like to reel this back at a slow to medium retrieve. Moving into the summertime situation using this lure, I like to target active shallow water bass in the morning and the evening. As we know, in the summertime, I typically see the shad get up and around the grass. So I look for lively grass flats and grass flat edges where there's plenty of shad jumping up, there's bass hitting, and birds diving. On these grass flats and grass edges, I like to find those particular areas where the grass edge drops off or slowly tapers off to about 4 to 5 feet. I toss to a grass flat on a point, down a dock line or shoreline, and I cast up to 2 to 3 feet and reel it back to the boat, targeting that edge. While I'm doing this, what I found to be key is reeling it and then jerking the rod tip, making this lure vibrate and then stop, reflect off to the side, and then keep going again. I believe this serves as a really good dying shad type action, and I can honestly say that I get more bites during this time of year, in the summertime and in the fall, doing that jerking retrieve more than just reeling it back. If you find a grass edge at 2 to 5 feet with heavy foliage, cast parallel to the foliage, bringing that lure over the edge of the grass and the edge of the hydrilla or pads or whatever that cover may be. My favorite foliage and cover to toss around on the edges of grass flats, hydrilla, and of course lily pads. Moving on to the fall, the shad are still pretty active before the water turns cold and we start getting cooler weathers and cold fronts. Therefore, I have a lot of success following the same grass flat pattern of targeting those edges where there's plenty of cover. But fishing lakes with rocky or shell bottoms, I like to cast to the rocky banks or shell banks that drop off at about 3 to 4 feet. I toss up there, reel it back over that edge, and again looking for forage, and it's especially great if you have a shoreline or bank with those conditions, as well as a lot of wood, stumps, or cover. Bait fish get around that cover, which attracts the bass and gets you that bite. If I'm fishing those situations, but the fish are holding to deeper water, I'll upgrade to the 2.5 rattling. Overall, that 1.5 size seems to be the best for those shallow water situations, and I prefer a rattling version as I believe that it provides a little bit more vibration and entices those bass even more than a silent. Please note, in the wintertime though, depending on how finicky the bass are, I may switch to a silent. As far as my hooks go, I just like to keep the stock hooks on, but if I am changing, let's say fishing a tournament, I really want to have that extra insurance, I will switch to a KVD must-add triple grip and make those hooks extremely sharp. It already comes with an oval split ring to it. It provides the line connected to the bait to be able to let that bait run freely and smoothly. And like I said, one of the most favorite things I like about this crankbait is how durable it is. And when you're casting towards that cover and docks, dock lines, in those situations, you can really appreciate that specification of a certain square bill or lure itself. That's pretty much it for this video, guys. I hope I gave you some ideas on when to use this square bill and to use a square bill period. It's a great bait, and it's especially wonderful if you're trying to imitate any bait fish or shad. If you think that the bass are keying in on shad in your lake, fish those shallow water areas with this lure. I've won a lot of tournaments and have a lot of really successful days using this 1.5, and I'm sure that you guys will have the same success. This lure is available on Bass Pro Shops, Tackle Warehouse, You get it straight from Strike King. My favorite way to order this lure is Bass Pro. It's got some special colors that other distributors may not have, and my personal favorite color is the albino craw. It's always good to match the hatch and make your square bill whatever color bait fish those bass may be keying in on. And of course, amongst the shad patterns, they also have plenty sunfish, bluegill patterns as well. And lastly, my favorite setup to use this lure on is the Legend Tournament by St. Croix. And of course, I use the small cranker model because it is designed for crankbaits just like this one. It's 7'2" medium power rod, and it's absolutely a dream when throwing this 1.5 and 2.5 out there. As far as reels go, I like anything between a 6 to 6.5 ratio, and I've got a loose speed spool on this particular rod. You want to talk about a light, sensitive combo with a lot of power at the same time behind it. It's your absolute perfect setup for this type of fishing. I use 15 to 20 pound line, again depending on water clarity, heavy structure you're fishing around, all of that, and I like to use 15 to 20 pound braid. Well guys, thanks all for watching. Be sure to like this video, comment, subscribe. You guys know the drill. Be sure to check out my social media as well at the end of this video. Thanks guys a lot for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you soon.